Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mr. Walker here, and we are going to be talking about the changing repeating decimals into fractions. So, if you remember what we talked about on Monday or Tuesday in class, we talked about how repeating decimals also count as rational numbers. This is because there is a process to turn them into fractions, just like how it is for us to turn regular decimals into fractions. So today we are going to go over this. Now I'm going to warn you ahead of time, this process does seem a bit long at first, but I do want you to stick through it and give it as much of a try as you can. Now after we go through this method, with these practice problems here, I'm also going to show you another method of being able to solve these. So I just want you to make sure that you are paying attention so that we can go through this as quickly as possible. So let's take a look at this process. All right, so this first one has us changing 0.2 repeating into a fraction in simplest form. Remember, simplest form means that we are reducing the fraction to the lowest possible thing that we can do. So, first off, how many digits are repeating in this decimal? So we look at what number is over the bar, and we look at the place value of this. We're going to keep these both in mind as we go through it. So we see that the bar is over 2, and that's only one number, so there's only one digit repeating. So, first step, we are going to let x represent the repeating decimal, and we are going to write this decimal out right over here. So, x equals 0.2, and we are going to actually go through and write a couple more of these digits. So, let's write let's say 4 2's. Okay? Now, for this next step, what we're going to do is multiply this little x equals 0.2222 by the place value of the number that is repeating. So the number that's repeating is 2, and that 2 is in the tenths place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply x and 0.2 repeating by 10. So let's go through, let's do that. If I'm multiplying both sides here by the same number, I'm multiplying x by 10, and then on the other side, I'm multiplying 0.2 repeating by 10. Now, what that's going to do for this first part, it's going to turn 0.2 repeating into 2.222 and so on, okay? Because we know that this 2 is still repeating. So what this is doing is moving one of the repeating digits in front of the decimal. So we're going to put this new x and our new version of our decimal, and we are going to subtract it from the original version of our x and our decimal. So our original x was 1x, and the original decimal was 0.2222. And we're going to subtract these from each other, just like how we are here. So over here, we know we got 10x minus 1x. That's going to give us 9x. Over here, what's going to happen is all the decimal parts here will subtract from all the decimal parts over here as well. So let's go through and subtract them. If these 2's all cancel out with these 2's, that means that after the decimal, there's nothing. But if I do 2 minus 0, that's going to be a 2. So what's left from this, we get 2. Next, we got 9x equals 2. What we're going to do, we're going to solve this equation that we have here for x. So what I'm going to do is I am going to divide both sides here by that 9 that's next to that x. And on this side, we got 2, and it's being divided by 9 over here. Now we know from before, if I divide 9 by 9, those both cancel out, leaving us with just x over here. That's why x is by itself. Now over here, I have 2 over 9. And because I'm trying to keep this as a fraction, I'm just going to leave it as 2 over 9. If I can simplify, I will simplify. In this case, there's nothing I can divide 2 and 9 both by to reduce it. So this means that at the end of this, 0.2 repeating is equal to 2 over 9. And remember, if you want to check this, you could always pull up your graphing calculator and we could go through and check it. So I'm just going to go through, make sure that we can see that. So let's just check. We're going to turn this fraction 2 over 9, and we're going to divide that to see what decimal we get. So I get 2.222222222. This means that all of this is that repeating decimal that we had all the way up here, which means that this whole process was able to solve this out. Now, like I said before, this does seem kind of daunting at first, but once we get into this a little more, it's going to be a bit easier for you, okay? So let's take a look at another one, all right? This time we have, sorry about that, 0.36 repeating. Now, with 0.36 repeating, firstly look at how many digits are repeating. There are 2. And what we're going to do, we're just going to rewrite this decimal out how it should be with all those repeating parts. So, we know we got 0 in the front, and then point, then we got 36, 36, and 36. We're going to keep it like that. Now, what I'm going to do is, just like how we manipulated that x in the previous equation, we're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to multiply this x and this 0.36 repeating by whatever the place value is of that repeating digit. So we got 3, we got 6. So that means that the place value for this would be 100. So I'm going to multiply this x by 100 and the other repeating decimal by 100 also. Now when I do that, that's going to move one of those 36's in front of the decimal point, turning it to 36.363636. And it keeps repeating, as we know. And what I'm going to do, just like we did before, we're going to subtract these x's and subtract this new decimal from our original repeating decimal. So make sure that you go through. We're going to subtract these. We know that since we're subtracting all this stuff in the decimal part from all this stuff in this decimal part, both of these will cancel out with each other, leaving us with just 36 minus 0, which is going to end up being 36. Now, over here, we got 100 minus 1. 100 minus 1, that's 99. All right, so we got 99 on here, and we got 36 on here. So let's rewrite this down here. We got 99x, and that equals 36. Now that we got this, we want to make sure that we solve x by getting 99 divided on both sides. So over here, we know that these two 99s will cancel out, giving us just x. On the other side, I have 36 divided by 99. Now, 36 and 99 can both be reduced. So what we're going to do, we're just going to make sure we can reduce it. So I can divide 36 and 99 both by 11. Not 11, by 9, sorry. So that means that up top, we're going to have 4. And on the bottom, we're going to have 11. And remember, just like how we always do, we want to make sure we check this out. So let's go and check it with our calculator. So we have 4 divided by 11. That gives us 0.36363636. Okay, so that's the first part of our notes here. If you made it to this point and you stuck it out, good job. All right, when we come back in the next video, we're going to go look at the next 2 practice problems. I will see you then.